Welcome to the ARU Startup Podcast. My name is Omkar Singh, and today we are joined by Dr. Nadeem Khalid. He is the Deputy Head of School of Management, Faculty of Business and Law. And we are delighted to have him, where we're going to talk about the enterprise and entrepreneurship, the role of universities in delivering the enterprise education to the students. So, hi Nadeem, how are you?
Thank you, Omkar. I'm fine. And how are you?
I'm fine too. Thank you so much for joining. So, beginning with the first thing, I think this is the first time we are having some guests from academics. So, reading your profile, my first question is: you have been working in the banking and consulting. So, what made you go into academia?
Interesting start, Omkar. Actually, I started my career with banking and later I moved to consulting. And down the line, I just developed this passion for higher education and training students with new skills, especially where they can graduate after university program. They can go out and start working for themselves instead of looking for jobs. Traditionally, I found that higher education has been producing glorified managers. And the way economy is shaping up and the way technological advancements are there in society, I see there is a big gap between academia and industry. To bridge that gap, I realize that working with students, when you have industry experience, you can teach them those practical skills. And that's why enterprise education or entrepreneurship has been close to my heart, where I saw that any idea can come to life through this education, through entrepreneurial education. And that's why that inspired me to take my PhD in entrepreneurship. And recently I have finished my AI course. I graduated from an AI program from Oxford University, and I was studying how artificial intelligence is going to impact small and medium enterprises. And that is the reason I got into academia, and I am quite lucky in this way that I have been working in several countries, different continents from Far East Asia to Africa.
Right. You have done a tremendous research on entrepreneurship and other areas. So, is there any personal reason that you wanted to pursue PhD in entrepreneurship and continue your career in teaching entrepreneurship further?
I find teaching and studying entrepreneurship is completely different from doing entrepreneurship. I had my own company, and the level of stress I had, the level of emotions I had, I realized being an entrepreneur is like studying entrepreneurship for 10 years, being an entrepreneur for 10 months. So that's why that was one of the major motivational factor behind my research, that how entrepreneurs are built, why some societies or some cultures are producing more entrepreneurs, why some cultures they are more risk aversive. Because being an entrepreneur, you must be able to take risk. And when you are willing to take risk, you must be able to accept failure. And failure is the best teacher. And that got me into entrepreneurship and interrelated topics such as innovation. That was also something was close to my heart, that there are people without any business education, they are able to develop their business venture, and why they are so passionate about one idea. And somehow later on through researches we have found out entrepreneurship is a phenomena that they will not only develop socio-economic factors, but actually it creates a lot of value for the economy overall. And actually nowadays it changes the political landscape also.
Yeah. There are a few courses that you teach. I think mostly the related to enterprise and entrepreneurship within the faculty. And then, so I think the first question that I, as a student, would ask is, why is enterprise important to me? when I'm studying some courses that are not to do with the entrepreneurship.
For example, you can be a student from literature. You can be a student from who's studying music. You must be able to sell your skill. You must be able to communicate. You must be able to plan and deliver a project. These are the enterprising skills anyone in industry is looking for.
Yeah.
The way technology is moving ahead, for example, if we see few years back, artificial intelligence was not a thing. But as we move to 2023, we have ChatGPT,
Yeah.
which is of an IQ of 155, same as Elon Musk. Einstein is at 160. And in few years' time, we are designing technology which is going to actually be more intelligent than us. It is a technology that has the ability to create and produce new ideas. Traditionally, we as a human being, as a race, we were creating ideas and implementing them. For example, you have a computer program. First, as a computer programmer, what you do, you solve a problem, and then you write a program, and then you code this program and give it to computer, and computer follows your instruction and solve that problem in split second, faster than a human being. So we created a glorified slave. But now we have created a technology that has the ability to solve the problem. And that's why enterprise education has become more important for students to have skill set, to compete in an industry, to compete in the market where they are already competing with the behemoth of artificial intelligence. That's why entrepreneurship education is very important. As a student, we must have some enterprising skills such as risk-taking ability to communicate, ability to solve problems, ability to create new ideas, and of course, learn and relearn, forget and then learn again. And when you talk about interdisciplinary, as I mentioned, you can be from any discipline. You must be able to adapt to changes in society. You must be able to sell your skills. You must be able to meet the industry needs. And that's why if you look into the report of International Economic Forum, ability to solve problems, ability to take risk-taking, these are the trends, the characteristics. Any HR is looking to recruit such people who has this ability to solve problem, ability to communicate, and ability to learn new skills. And enterprising courses provide you a platform or a framework where you can hone those skills.
Because we talk about AI and artificial intelligence, now you just mentioned, there was a time where AI was less trusted and it was not taken that much of importance globally. And now because of its IQ, as mentioned, and ability to solve problems, now there is a question that AI is going to take jobs. Yeah. Because you have done a lot of research in entrepreneurship, I think I should ask you this. Concerns-wise, do you think AI is also going to take the creative and entrepreneurial aspects?
Yes, AI will take creative aspects. I know for some it may not be a good news. For example, there are AI platforms available where you can create new music, where you can create new images. So that is creativity. So we created a technology that is capable of generating new ideas. And idea is the most powerful thing. Virus or bacteria or anything, you compare any autonomous weapon or any weapon, if you put an idea is the most dangerous thing, can be a most exciting thing. It depends how you use it. For example, we created atomic bomb. But this technology cannot decide itself when to be used. Now we are creating technology using AI that knows when to be used and how to create things and how to solve problems. And that's why it will have an impact on the job market. And that's why if you ask me how the job market will look like in 10 years, I'm sorry, I don't have the answer. But what skills are needed, that I can tell you. Because these are the skills, if you're an enterprising individual, you must have, and you must be ready to change careers, learn new skills, and take risk. And you must be able to innovate and create new things and solve problems.
Yeah.
For example, you traditionally had students who graduate after undergraduate, they found job. Now we see academic inflation. People are applying for a same position of undergraduate, those who have master degree or PhD. So we see academic inflation, that people applying for jobs have higher qualification or overqualified. And that's why we also see from our parents that they had one career all their life.
Yeah.
But now the trend is changed. You must be able to switch careers. For example, today somebody is driving a truck. Since now we have autonomous trucks, they can drive themselves, and this truck driver is going to be a jobless. So perhaps he will decide to become a yoga teacher. So once again, new skill set. You must have the ability to learn new skill set. And that's why enterprising skills or courses on enterprising skills are very important in higher education.
So at Anglia Ruskin University, what kind of currently academic-wise, what kind of support is available for students with regards to developing this kind of skills?
Ruskin University has done really good job. For example, they have number of academic programs, and I have been involved in these programs where we primarily attract students who have a creative idea and they want to work on their idea throughout this program, and once they graduate, their idea is business ready. So that is why working with Anglia Ruskin on these entrepreneurial programs for any student is not only beneficial, but actually you can add soul and wheels and nuts and bolts to your idea. You can start your own business. And based on that, for example, entrepreneurship opportunities for students, there are numerous platforms such as Enterprise Academy. They have numerous initiatives from seed funding, for example, this podcast, or when I was working with your team, Omkar, on enterprising module, to be or not to be enterprising. And I also saw a lot of work your team put in to bring entrepreneurs, to inspire students.
Yeah.
And each guest speaker I had on my module, they had wealth of experience, not only in life, but also how they left their career, booming career, and become an entrepreneur. And once again, it's not only covering success stories. We have covered some stories where entrepreneurs failed again and again, and there is a lesson for all of us in failure. And then eventually their persistence, they paid off, and they are able to enjoy good venture, their own business.
Yeah. So you just mentioned about to be or not to be enterprising is a module under the Ruskin module. So and you teach, deliver. We have jointly done this trimester. So just the students who's going to be joining in the future, or is going to be taking up this module, what are the key objectives that students going to learn out of this?
When I started teaching this module, I realized that most of my students, they're really talented. They have all the ideas, but they do not have the platform how to implement those ideas. So this module actually, and the way it is designed, first of all, we work with students. What are the enterprising skills? Why these enterprising skills are important? Then we talk about passion and setting up mission and vision. And we have design the curriculum in such a way that we deliver some real life business examples where we talk about there are organizations, I'm not going to name any, but there are organizations, those who change their mission and vision probably 23 times in 21 years. And at some point, these organizations were one of the giant organizations, and today they disappear, or they are not at the same level they used to be. And then we talk about problems, because problems bring challenges, and challenges bring stress. And sometimes stress is good in a way that it pushes us to solve problem. Having a stress for exam, it is going to push you to prepare for the exam. Same way, we impart some frameworks to students in this module, how to investigate a problem. And once we have investigated or unfolded the problem, we talk about how we can create numerous solutions. And then we bring different other frameworks, how we can create and innovate. For example, what is strategic innovative thinking? We talk about different aspects. And then we have hands-on activities in these discussions during the session. So students actually have to implement those frameworks. And then we deliver a case study to a student, how one of the companies implemented those framework and what results they got. And then, of course, we bring through Enterprise Academy, we have access to successful individuals who were able to develop their own business. So we bring them as a guest speaker. And after providing implementation or finding different solutions, we talk about how we create an impact. So this module is one of the module where you can actually see we have packed the whole MBA in one trimester.
You want to share with our audience on any of the successful stories you want to highlight?
I came across two interesting ideas. One of my students is developing an app where you can have discussion with an AI bot regarding your future career prospects. So this one of my students, I'm not going to mention name of the app because it's still in developing stage. They are working on this idea that where they take input, they ask you to upload CV, and then they ask you to fill the form to understand your passion and vision. And based on this AI-based platform, they are able to give you some suggestions, or they are able to develop your CV, or they are able to write cover letter for you. So they can actually create customized CV and customized cover letter for the job you're applying. And I find it quite interesting that somebody who is not from IT, who is not from business education, but they have major in psychology, they are working on this. And I see this module has played an important role in giving them this ability to commercialize their business idea. And another example I can share with you, where one of my students, they are from education faculty, and they're developing a tool where instructors can actually know their class, what is their learning style. For example, I learn things by doing things. Some people learn things by listening to podcasts. Some people learn by watching. So what is their learning style, and what kind of content will be more suitable for this type of audience? So I find it again quite interesting tool that somebody has this ability to create a framework and go to IT technicians and help them to develop this platform, and so that tutors across the globe can work and understand their audience much better.
So I think they are great examples and great stories that students, they are able to learn from the Ruskin modules and develop those skills, able to meet and network with the people from the other faculties and schools. So that's helping them in going forward in their entrepreneurial journey. My next question is just more about the entrepreneurship education in general, and what role does university play in enhancing those entrepreneurial skills in among the students?
All disciplines, whether you're from social science, technology, or engineering, or business background, one must study entrepreneurship and innovation. Because entrepreneurship or education will give wings to your idea. You will be able to commercialize that idea or solve a societal or economical problem in general. As we go into research of entrepreneurship and innovation, we begin to realize, as this theme is getting more researched, that every single phenomena is a scientific process. Ability to create ideas, ability to take risk, we can measure it. And we can also find out factors what influence one's ability to take risk, one's ability to come up with new ideas. And we can enhance those factors and create an environment where people will be able to follow their passion and solve problems. And that's why entrepreneurship education is gaining popularity, and there are dedicated schools across the world.
Yeah.
Their sole purpose is to work on entrepreneurship, such as technopreneurship, agropreneurship. So how agriculture can be more innovative and more business oriented, how technology can be more creative and innovative, and we can solve problems using technology.
Yeah. Speaking from the changing trends perspective, because we have been seeing growing interest among the crowd, particularly in the UK. So how do you think the higher education entrepreneurship, particularly when you teach, is also adopting to the changing trends such as AI or such as any kind of preneurship that's been added into the sectors?
We talk about any scientific theory such as Moore's law, that technology will change massively in near future, and every year technology is improving. So the way technology has been improving and becoming cheaper and accessible, it is going to impact economies in general. And as you said, we are adding this adjective, preneurship. So in every field, yes, I can give you an interesting example. Recently, one of my friend, she launched a program for medical student, doctorpreneurship.
Doctorpreneurship, okay.
So because of this program, students are encouraged to start their own small venture
in the field of
medicine.
Okay.
And this venture can be starting their own medical facility.
Oh, nice,
or
interesting.
They have to come up with a idea where they can use technology or apps to get access to their patients. So through this program, what happens? Doctors learn basic of enterprising skills. They go out there, develop their own medical facility. And when you have your own medical facility, it means you have to manage staff, which is a skill every human resource person should have. You have to advertise your business, a marketing skill you must have.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you must be able to calculate profit and loss. So it shows that a medical doctor is doing its own mini MBA and learning those business skills to develop their own idea.
Yeah.
So I see the trend of developing entrepreneurial education will gain popularity because using entrepreneurial abilities and entrepreneurial education, universities will be able to solve more business problems. And when you are able to solve industrial problems, of course, there is some sort of financial incentive for universities to work with industry and solve their problems. So entrepreneurship education provides actually that ecosystem to a university.
Yeah, and I think ARU does a brilliant job there. So just going back to the Ruskin modules where you mentioned, we talk about the importance of enterprise and what's been ARU playing role in developing the enterprise skills among students. So the module to be or not to be enterprising is one of the interesting ones. So how do you teach? Is it more theoretical or is it practical? And if it is, how it goes, how it looks?
This module is designed in such a way that session is delivered where we talk about a business example, a case study, why this theory is relevant to any business. Then, after the case study is done, we provide a framework and a scenario where students have to implement that theory on that scenario.
So the real life case studies.
These are all real life case studies. And once they have done this activity, student has the chance to present their solution or deliver their idea using that framework. And every second or third session, we try to bring some guest speaker so that student can also get some feedback from the people who are already involved in the industry. And on top of that, in this module, I tell my student there is nothing right and wrong. In my sessions, there is nothing right and wrong as long as you're able to create a solution. And then you are able to evaluate the solution, that if it is a best solution or we drop this idea. And students choose their own project, their own theme, and they have to solve any socio-economical problem in any geographical location. And they work in teams, and I prefer students working in teams coming from different faculties. So that's why they are more creative and they are more productive.
Yeah. It was a great talking to you, Nadeem, and thank you so much for joining. So before you leave us for today, do you have any tips or advice for our students who are aspiring to be an entrepreneur or looking forward to develop their skills?
Well, I would just say, you have to fail in life. You have to try. Failure is your best friend. And usually, I remember asking my student, just recent when I was working with Omkar, our host today, in our last enterprising module session, I asked few students, if I have the ability to erase some of the memories, would you allow me to erase memories from your brain, those who are painful to you? And I remember, Omkar, the answer of many students, they said, no, we will not use this tool to erase our memory. Because the failure and the pain we had because of the failure, that made us who we are today. So my message to you is, embrace the failure, go out, dream big, and travel the world when you are young. And this is the time you can create new ideas, you can dream big, you can implement ideas. And believe in yourself, and also keep learning, keep developing, and dedicate time to your self-development. Be selfish, be foolish, as Steve Jobs said.
Thank you so much. I think that was a great advice for our listeners. And finally, thank you so much for joining and sharing all the insights with the enterprise skills and entrepreneurship in general that you have shared today. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.